In 2022, 6% of the Scouts BSA and the Central Georgia Council earned Scouting's highest rank, the Eagle Scout Award. Over 900 youth advanced in rank in 2022, including 1,976 merit badges earned. In 2022, the economic impact of our community service projects was over $1.2 million. The projects provided over 60,000 hours of service to local communities and organizations. These are all indicators of how healthy Scouting is in Central Georgia. Scouting is alive and well in Central Georgia, and because of your support, PACs and troops will be reorganized in Taylor County. Now it's time to hear from a Scout. I would like to call upon Zion Burrs to share what Scouting means to her.
I'm a Weeblo Scout. What Scouting means to me is the skills I learned for life. I can survive anywhere. I learned the value of friendship and how to live by the Scout law. I am trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, through great, clean, and reverent.
Thank you, Zion. Our goals through Scouting are to teach youth how to become an asset in their community, show respect for others, citizenship and community service, and discipline and leadership. Weren't they great? Scouting works. I'd like to now introduce Walter Butch Turner to make a few comments about our Eagle recipient, Chief Lonnie Holt.
Can y'all hear me okay? There we go. What do y'all think about that meal? Yes. Thank you. I've been amazing most of the day and didn't have a chance to have lunch, so I was really looking forward to this, and it was delicious. Lonnie and I sat down and talked a little bit earlier this week about some of his accomplishments in Reynolds. And my relationship with Lonnie started in 2016 when I became mayor. Lonnie has actually worked under 4 mayors. He worked first for Julian, and then Jonathan, and then Fred Wallace, and then me beginning in 2016. But I have been very impressed with Lonnie and his attitude about work, his love of the city of Reynolds. And y'all probably know that he started working in Reynolds in 2007. And when this year's up, that will be 17 years that he's worked in Reynolds. And Lonnie grew up in Taylor County. He attended Fort Valley State College. He worked for the city of Butler. 7 years, I believe it was. 9 years. One of my notes, 9 years. While he was in Butler, he worked under what the acronym is CID, but that's the Criminal Investigation Division. He worked under the DEA as a drug, in the Drug Task Force. He was part of Leadership Taylor and Leadership Georgia. To my knowledge, there's only been 3 people in Taylor County that's been part of Leadership Georgia. Lonnie and Patty, and there was another person, I can't think who it was. Right there. Clinton Carey. He belongs to the Chiefs Association and the International Chiefs Association. And I believe in the program it shows also that he is part of the NOBLE, that is the National Office of Black Law Enforcement. He has also been VP of Strawberry Festival. And he is Vice Chair of the Taylor County Family Connection. Lonnie, I don't see how you have time to be a policeman. But he's also been in Dare for 25 years. A lot of the kids that Lonnie taught in Dare are now adults, probably have children of their own by now. He was part of the leadership trilogy with the FBI. He was part of the Boys to Men Committee. And Lonnie grew up in a single parent home. And there's a lot of disadvantages to that. But Lonnie seems to have overcome those disadvantages. And of course, y'all know he's married to Madonna. I won't say how long, a pretty good while. He has been a lifelong member of Hopewell Baptist Church. And he has been coaching in Taylor County for at least 10 years, maybe longer than that. When I first got to know Ronnie after becoming mayor, we wanted to change some things in Reynolds. We wanted to change the perception of the police department in Reynolds. Reynolds was perceived as being a speed trap. Some people will tell you that Reynolds is a speed trap. But we were actually, the state of Georgia determined that we were not a speed trap. Recently, when I was getting x-rays made, and when the lady in the room with me found out I was from Reynolds, she said, "Oh yeah, that's the speed trap down there." And then she got to tell me about her ticket. And I just asked her, at that time she didn't know I was mayor, she just knew that I was from Reynolds. I asked her, I said, "Were you speeding?" She said, "Oh yeah, I was speeding." Well, that's kind of what we do. If you're speeding, you're likely to get a ticket. And there's some other things other than speed. For so long, in fact, investigators, they found that we didn't write tickets until they were 20 miles an hour over the limit. And so that's given quite a bit of stretch for a person, you know. And anyway, I'm very proud of what Lonnie's done with the police department. One of the things we did, we moved all the police cars out from the front of City Hall. So that when you drive downtown, people have got a place to park without being in the police car in the parking spot. And if y'all notice, all the Reynolds police officers are wearing nice, neat uniforms. I think that is so important. And they're still wearing the t-shirts and boots and whatnot. And I've done all I can to help fund the police department. It's pretty expensive to fund the police department, but it is far better to have a good police department than to wish you had a good police department. Because it takes money. It absolutely does. And they're under a lot of pressure to do a lot of things. But I am just incredibly proud of what Lonnie's done, and also Jimmy. I've known Jimmy for a pretty good while now, and I've got nothing but the highest regards for Jimmy in this part of this county. And so, I want y'all just continue celebrating, and that is my remarks. Thank you, Lonnie.
I appreciate that. First, I want to thank my wife, my family, my kids, my department. Thank you, Mayor, for those kind words. And I want to thank Coach Trapper for nominating myself and Chief Town for this award. This award is just not for me, it's for all the people that were for us. Coach Trapper, he was a shoulder for us to stand on. down here with late Mr. Charlie Hicks, Mr. Green, Mr. Knowlton, those people that we forgot about, well, I haven't forgot about, that should never be forgot about, because we're only here because those people put in the hard work for us. I remember Coach Trapman, always telling myself in Chieftown, we played football and basketball for him, always telling us about life, not just about the sport of football and basketball, it was almost like a father figure to us. This award goes to Coach Trapman. All the things that you have done for this community that you never get recognized for. Coach Trapman is a Hall of Fame coach. So to me, this award for you, Coach Trapman. We appreciate all that you've done for myself in Chieftown. We have been because people like you stood up for us. When we didn't really have to follow in the basketball game, the football game, we looked up to you to be back. You and Freddie Harmon, Mr. Green, Mr. Higgs, all the people who always supported us through those processes. And me, I would never forget those things. And I cherish those things. I make sure my kids know who you are, because I'm on the man because of what you taught me in those days. So appreciate it. Love you. My department, thank you for all that you've done for me. Appreciate all the support. This award goes to Coach Trapman also. Thank you.
We are not the sturdiest to come across. Anyway, now we get to introduce Coach Matt Trout. He's going to make a few comments about our other Golden Eagle recipient, Chief Jimmy Towns. Coach Trout.
And I asked him, I said, what do you want me to say? And Jimmy told me, say, Coach, say what you think. Now, Jimmy is a former student of mine. And he got a lot of confidence with me, because I know there are some students who give me the opportunity to say what I think about it. So he got a lot of confidence with me. But I'm so honored to be a part of this. And as I said, Jimmy was one of my former students, also Lonnie. And I'm going to say that if I had a son, I would love for them to imitate these two young men. I had an opportunity to work with Lonnie and Jimmy as athletes. Lonnie playing football, Jimmy playing basketball, and he participated in track and field. Now, I have a picture of Jimmy in the office. And I started to bring it tonight just to show him off back during his senior year in high school. But he told me, you better not print it. You better not print that. For some reason, he don't like for me to show that picture off. These young men are an example of what everyone wants to see.
The award recognizes those both in and out of scouting who are champions of community service and who display the qualities embodied in the Boy Scout law, qualities such as trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. I'm going to go off script just a little bit now, which you normally gets me in trouble. But Miss Jade has kept me on a short leash tonight. She typed out everything I was supposed to say, but she always said, insert additional comments here for both Lonnie and Jimmy. And I didn't read this script until probably about 3 o'clock this afternoon. So you can see my chicken scratch. So I wrote some things, but what I wrote was pretty much exactly what Coach Troutman said, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off script and give you an example that y'all can use the rest of your life. Chief Towns is here tonight to receive awards and to be honored. And a lot of times we sit here and say, what is a servant leader? You hear that in church a lot of times. What is a servant leader? You hear it in politics, you hear it in all that. What's a servant leader? I think a servant leader is when you're coming somewhere to be honored, and you put on gloves and serve chicken and rolls to folks in line. I've got an example I can use from now on and say, let me tell you what I happened to me one time. Because let me tell y'all something, if I come here next year to get an award, y'all better have somebody fanning me and feeding me grapes. Because I ain't going to be serving rolls and chicken, y'all boy, I promise you that. It's my great pleasure to to present Chief Jimmy Towns with the 2023 Golden Eagle Awards. Come on up here, Jimmy.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Give an honor to God for giving me the opportunity to stand here before you this evening. Before I begin my speech, I would like to thank Miss Mary Davis and Miss Brenda Gibson for serving us in this. They've probably been up here since what time this morning, Miss Mary? 6. And they hadn't even been home since. So, and we appreciate them. And Superintendent Aubrey, we thank you for letting them help us out tonight. I would like to thank my family, friends for supporting me throughout the years as I accept the Golden Eagle Community Award. Excuse me, I'm jumping myself. After I found out from Coach Trapper and the Boy Scout that myself and Chief Holder was being honored for the Golden Eagles Award, I said to myself, what is the Golden Eagle Award? After doing some research over the internet, I found out that the award was given to a person or persons who makes a difference within their community. I couldn't believe that I was a recipient for this outstanding award. So once again, I said to myself, I hope they don't make us wear those Boy Scouts uniforms. I would like to thank my family, friends for supporting me throughout the years as I accept the Golden Eagles Community Award. This award would not be possible if it wasn't for each of you sitting in this room and throughout Taylor County. As I was preparing my speech for tonight, I got to thinking about my childhood days growing up, walking the back roads and playing football, basketball, and other activities until the sunset. As I was walking, making my way home, we took shortcuts through little old ladies' yards just as they finished raking them. And you know that was a no-no. She came out the house with a broom and said, "You bad kids, stop walking through my yard." And off he went without looking back. What I learned from those ladies is that they valued their property. And I shouldn't have disrespected them by walking through their pride and joy. With all of this being said, respect other people and it will go a long way in life. Being from a small town, I have accomplished many things in life, such as becoming police chief of my hometown, and the opportunity to coach young men to win 2 state championships twice. These are things that you dream about as a child. Over the years, my dreams have come true, to have a family that with you no matter what. And then there are you, co-workers, and the community pulling for you. I am truly grateful to call Taylor County home. As you grow up from elementary school to high school, you always have that one special person besides a family member who believes in you. And they inspire you to be the best at what you do. Coach Trapper is the reason why I'm standing here this evening accepting the Boy Scouts of America Golden Eagle Award. Coach Trapper has a saying that if you treat people right, good things will happen to you. And look at me as I accept this great award. Thank you, Coach Trapper, for supporting me and the children of Taylor County. In closing, I would like to thank everyone who came out to help myself and Chief Holder celebrate this once-in-a-lifetime award. Thanks to the Boy Scouts of America for this great recognition. Taylor County, let's go out hard and support the Boy Scouts of America. God bless.
Assisted me tonight, and we just want to say thank you, Chief Town, and thank you, Chief Holder, for allowing us to, work with you guys these past couple months, and the committee as well, and hope you guys get home safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. It has been an enjoyable evening, and I want to thank you again for coming tonight and being so generous with your support of the Central Georgia Council. Scouting touches all, either directly or indirectly, and we have committed ourselves today to help Scouting continue to be a positive force in our county. Let me thank you and our honorees, Chief Lonnie Holder and Chief Jimmy Towns, for your attendance and participation tonight. Thank y'all and have a good night.
How you feel about your dad getting this
How I
award?
feel about my dad? That's my background. I am so proud of him and all his accomplishments. He's really my stepdad, but that's my dad. He raised me since I was 2, 3, 4 or something. But I don't want to cry. But what can I say? What can I say? He is everything. He is, when I say everything, the most kindest person, will help anyone that's in need. I'm just amazed that he's my dad.
That right.
Okay, go on.
That right. Yeah.